Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Sam and Meshach podcast.
The Sam and Meshach podcast, starring Sam and Meshach.
Incredibly. How you doing today, Meshach?
I'm doing well, Sam. I am feeling energized in the kind of forward-looking sense and exhausted in the present feeling sense.
Okay, tell me more.
I have just been having a lot
That
of
was like, first of all, let me back up. That was like the most therapist answer to that question you possibly could have given. It was like, I don't know, very vague. Let's hear it.
Very vague. Well, Sam, as you know, I have a day job this summer. So I am working in construction and property management. And so I spent my day today on an extension ladder cleaning gutters um in the hot sun,
Oof.
which was great. It was a great day. I learned a lot. I was overcoming my fear of heights. And halfway through the day, I had the opportunity to
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to cut you off for the second time
yeah,
already in the first minutes of this podcast. Back up. Did you say you have a fear of heights?
I have had a fear of heights. When I
I,
was young,
what?
I had a really intense fear of heights. Like, wouldn't want to go on um the carousel. No, the carousel goes this way. Which one goes around? The
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. Didn't want to go on the Ferris wheel. Level fear of heights. And that is like diminished substantially in the last decade. And it is only now when I get like on a rickety ladder and I'm about 20 feet in the air and I'm just kind of like warbling that it comes back.
Yeah, it like triggers that fear. The reason I'm asking and the reason I looked so surprised when he said that is because I've sat at the edge of like cliffs with Meshach before. There are some awesome pictures of us in West Virginia where you could really go tumbling down quite a way, and he took that completely fine, like a complete champ.
If I can't see the ground, it's a lot easier for me. So like this is why I think skydiving would be well terrifying, not impossible
Great
because
for a little bit and
yeah,
then really bad at the bottom.
I think at that point there's so much adrenaline in your body, but by the time you see the ground that it's really you don't experience it with the same quite intensity.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I have had a fear of heights in my life. Yes.
Okay, anyways, you were saying back to what you were doing today. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Well, and I had the opportunity today to chat with someone. This is the second time this week that I've had a very like invigorating conversation about kind of the film work that I am doing and actually like putting in place real possibilities for like actual projects that are happening. Um and like with actual real people. And so instead of just like the hypothetical world of whiteboards and like ideas, this is like, driving somewhere and sitting down and like talking to someone and going, "Oh, you want to hire me or you want to work together." So, very very cool in that way.
How much are you allowed to tell us about that stuff?
Probably not much more than that. I am happy to talk to you off camera at length, Sam, but I think
Ooh,
on
the
on
perks of being
camera
Meshach's actual friend. Ha ha ha.
in terms of on camera, I feel like that's about all that I should say.
Okay. Well, that's very exciting. Um,
How are you
I
today, Sam?
well, not so good. Not so good, Meshach. Uh, first of all, I feel terrible. Okay. Very sleepy. My stomach hurts, my head hurts. And that impacts your mood a lot. And I have a suspicion about where some of that may have come from. It begins with the fact that I was up at 4:30 in the morning last night. This morning, I guess. Um,
Intentionally or unintentionally?
Completely unintentionally. I went
Hmm.
to bed at a perfectly reasonable time, like midnight-ish, you know? And went to bed, sitting there, hour one, can't sleep. Look at the clock. Jesus Christ, it's 1 a.m. Hour two, Jesus Christ, it's 2 a.m. Can't sleep. Hour three, I was like, okay, it's 3 a.m. I can't sleep. So I decided to like get up, do some chores that I'd been putting off. I like ironed a bunch of shirts just in the
Yeah.
middle of the night, took a shower just to like try and, I don't know, shock it out of me or something. Went back
Right,
to bed.
right.
I couldn't sleep, but at 4:30 in the morning, that's the last time I checked the clock before I was like, okay, I gotta just lay here and suffer. I must have fallen asleep at like 5 a.m. So I'm running on not so much sleep. I left work early. If you're my boss and you're watching this, no, I didn't. That's a joke. My boss knows I left early. I finished my things. Um, so that is how I am doing, but also optimistic about the future. I bought a computer mouse today that sucks.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't know if it sucks. I'm just getting used to it
Why do you think right now that it sucks?
because I'm not used to it.
Okay.
I'm a creature of habits.
This I well know. This I
Yeah,
well
you,
know.
you do know this about me. I so the fact that I have to change, it's not great. I like when things change. Just I don't like when my things change.
This makes sense. Right, right. Your things obviously should just remain the same.
Yeah, like I like when laws change, but I don't like when my workspace changes. Even if it's an improvement often. Like
Well,
you were
that's what I was
talking
going to
last
ask.
episode about getting a new computer. I like getting new equipment. I got a new mouse, I got a new keyboard, like I will upgrade my things. But the growing pains are really quite terrible for me. It takes me a long time to get used to stuff, and then by the time I'm used to it, it's usually time to upgrade.
Do you find that the excitement of the new thing doesn't allow you kind of to ease into that transition a little better?
No, it does not.
Got it. Got it.
Especially I I don't know. I'm bad at getting properly excited for and then enjoying things that I get for myself, you know? I think it's
Interesting.
partially because I'm like bad at spending money on myself. Um if there's some like big charity event, I'm like, oh sure, take my money. Here's a few $100s. But then I like spent like 30 something dollars on this mouse today. And I've been dealing with a mouse that has not functioned for like 2 months, and I'm stressed out. I'm like, God, I didn't need a mouse. I got a trackpad. What do I need a mouse for? Should I be using my keyboard anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and then at the same time, I'm like, plus the stupid mouse doesn't even work that well. Like you know, it goes too fast or goes too slow or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, I feel like an old, like curmudgeonly old man. I do like upgrades. I get things because I enjoy them. I like things. I What I really like is I like to get new things that are also in a new category to me.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that? What does that mean?
Yeah, like I had a mouse before this one, and I had a keyboard before this one, and so though there were growing pains for those. But this microphone that I've got right now is the first of like this caliber of microphone I've ever had, and so it was very exciting to me.
Sure.
Um, when I get like a desk, I'm excited about getting a desktop PC because that's different
Mm,
than a laptop in my brain, you know. So,
right.
so it's different, you know. When I'm using that, I can set it up differently than I want my laptop to be set up. But I have my things on my laptop set up a certain way. And like, I even went through and like customized little icons for my desktop on my old laptop, and I have to make sure they're all the same on this computer because otherwise, how am I going to find my stuff?
Well, that's a great question. Right. How do you find anything if it isn't always the same?
Yeah, right. Precisely, Meshach. Meshach knows that this room is exactly how my dorm looked for 4 years in college.
It is shocking the amount of posters and pictures and like just little random items that you had up in your dorm that now appear on this wall. Like when I visited you in DC, it was a surreal experience to like walk around your room and see, oh my goodness, that's like the receipt of that one time that we went to Burger King.
Yeah.
Or that is like a picture that is like, imprinted in my brain as the thing that was on your wall for 4 years.
Yeah, I like it to be like a little museum of my life. My spaces. I'm gonna have a real problem when I move into like a big boy apartment and my kitchen is no longer just like a stovetop and a mini fridge. Because I'm gonna have to like fill other rooms. How am I gonna decorate other rooms when I can't decorate it the same way I've done for my entire adult life so far?
You could do what most men in their 20s do and just not
Just
change.
not do it at all.
Just
Yeah,
not
true.
change. Just keep the same stuff up, let it cover about 1/8 of the wall space, and the rest can just be blank. You
No,
don't even need a stand for your TV. The TV can sit on the floor. People can look down a little bit. That's okay.
if I was gonna do that, I think I would put it all in one room.
You
You
would
would
just have
walk in
one
and it would look
room.
like a brand new apartment, like no one had stepped foot in there. But then you would walk into my room and it would look just like this.
I like that. I think that might be a good way to do it.
Yeah, maybe. You've done a good job of decorating your place of residence.
It's been a slow process. It's been a slow process of learning how to decorate. I still
You've got more
don't
rooms than
really
the
know what
average
I'm doing.
person
I
to
have
populate.
too many rooms, Sam. I have far, far too many rooms and I don't know what to do with them. Yeah.
That's a good
It's
problem to have.
it's a problem to have. I don't know. I mean, I dream of like very small spaces. I love the house that I live in. It is enormous. It's
You want to
so
trade?
big.
I'll trade you.
I don't want to be in DC. So
When
I'm sorry.
when you came here, you remarked something about my room and the size of my room. Do you remember what you said?
Did I say that it felt a lot bigger on camera?
You did say that.
It
You
does.
you did say that, and it's not the first time that I've received that comment.
Well, I think because we all assume
Mhm.
that outside of like the edges of the camera lens, there's a lot more to see. And when I got there, there wasn't. Like
Yeah,
all
like
of it was on camera.
the room ends like right there. And I originally shot my videos like more against this wall, and this room looks tiny then.
Right.
But when I go like this, right, it creates a lot of depth, and it makes you think that essentially the space is like double this size.
Well, I think even initially you shot your videos with just the bed in the background,
Yep, that too.
which made it feel even bigger because it seemed like you're just sitting in the middle of a big room. When in reality, you're just like sitting toward the end
I'm sitting in the middle of a small room.
of a small room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It look, it works. I throw up a mirror. It's an illusion.
Yeah, mirrors are great.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with smaller spaces. I think that we have this like weird obsession right now with like lots and lots of space and like this competition of if you have a bigger house, you're, more valuable. Um, but in reality, it's like live smaller,
You
You
said you
don't need
wanted
all
a
the
tiny
space.
home, right?
I would love a tiny home. I don't know if I'll ever be in a place in my life where a tiny home will be an appropriate thing,
Yeah.
but I have I've thought about buying one and then just buying like a parcel of land and then just parking the tiny home on the land and calling it a cabin.
I completely agree with you that the whole you need a giant house is ridiculous. Like I live in this amount of space very comfortably.
Right.
And if I don't want to be in this amount of space, I go outside.
That is a revolutionary idea, Sam. Are you allowed to say that anymore? Is that allowed?
Outside is way bigger than your house will ever be.
Crazy.
You can quote me on that. Last time I said some in the last episode, I said some things that I'm not sure I want you to quote me on, but this one you can quote me on. No matter how big your house gets, outside will always be bigger.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm counting outer space.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Was there a point you were coming to about Western homes and then
Oh, was there? Dude, I'm deliriously tired. Um, yeah, this is the correct amount of space, and I could never imagine spending like $50 million on a house that I could not occupy if I wanted to.
this podcast has really ran off the rails pretty quick.
It really has.
Not that we put it on any rails today, but it ran off them nonetheless.
Here, I can bring us back onto some rails.
Okay.
Last time when the podcast ended, Meshach and I were chatting for a few minutes, and we had a brilliant idea about what this podcast should be. Do you want to tell them, or should I?
Go ahead.
It should be therapy. That's right. Everyone can use some therapy, Meshach and I included. And so we thought, that's not true. I thought I'm taking full credit for this idea.
You should take full credit for this idea, Sam.
You don't want it. I thought, wouldn't it be funny if the podcast was every week we trade off and it's just one of our problems, like all of the
Whoa.
problems from the week, and then we try and sort through them, and then we can maybe even take in fewer problems. That'd be crazy. I'm
That would
thinking
be
like
wild.
Therapy Gecko, but just normal people.
I don't know Therapy Gecko.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out. You are missing out. You need to check out Therapy Gecko. Do you know? Okay.
Is this a YouTuber that I should watch?
It's an everythinger.
Okay.
But yes, on YouTube. Here's the pitch. He dresses up as a gecko, paints his face green, looks like a gecko, takes your calls, solves their problems, big and small.
I think I have seen some clips of this gentleman.
Sometimes the problem is like my mom died and I am feeling traumatized about it, and other times it's like my arms are too short and my friends make fun of me about it, or like it really varies.
Wow. Wow.
But that's kind of what I love about it. You never know what you're gonna get,
Yeah.
except for excellent advice from a grown man dressed like a gecko.
Here's my concern, Sam. I am not dressed like a gecko, and neither are you.
Should we make this a
sure?
genre of podcast?
What do you mean?
Like, currently he has a monopoly on the dressing like a gecko and giving advice
Right.
podcast idea.
Yeah.
Should we see if there is room for competition in that podcasting space? Or are there other amphibians that people would like to get advice from?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Yeah. Yeah, I would go for a frog. I would go in a frog suit pretty quick.
I think it'd be hard to distinguish between that and the salamander suit. Or the gecko. Salamander, gecko? Or gecko salamanders?
I don't think so.
Mm.
I'm down to give it amphibian advice any day of the week. So
You heard it here. The next time that Meshach is on this podcast, he will be dressed like a frog.
I did not promise that.
I think you just said that out loud.
Mm.
Those words.
I think we have this all recorded.
I think I can really try and gaslight you through a recording.
That might be true.
Like every time we play back the recording, like we can be watching it together and I'll go, dude, you said it right there. Play it back. Play it back. Dude, did you not hear it? Right there. You just said it. Are you going crazy? Well,
Yeah.
I'll type out the words in front of you and then I'll just type out words you're not saying.
That would be wild.
Yeah. That would be friendship ending. That'd be
that
horrifying.
would be. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I maybe less gaslighting. I think would be the move.
I never said I would gaslight you.
Wow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
Gaslight? What does that even mean? That's not even a word.
So are you suggesting, Sam, that we should? I'm just gonna pivot. Are you suggesting that we should give advice as non-licensed therapists, just like regular folks?
Did you just Google whether or not that was legal?
No, I know that's legal. This is
Oh,
America. That's the first thing that's legal.
yeah, that's true. And then the second thing is guns. We said everyone should be able to express themselves no matter their religion, no matter their status in society. And then we want to be able to shoot people. That's our list of priorities.
Maybe it's to regulate the free speech. Have we thought about that? That they were thinking, they were like, well, but if everyone can say anything, then that might be a problem. So let's make sure certain people die. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, we need to have some systems in place for that.
You can't just have people, running their mouths silly. Yeah. Ugh.
Gross.
Craziness. Yes.
What's the Third Amendment?
Do you know it? Are you quizzing me, or are you asking a question?
Sure, I do.
Let's see. What is the Third Amendment? Is it to not force people to have soldiers in their homes? To house soldiers?
No, I think that's the Fifth Amendment. I think third is religion. Third Amendment. No, oh no, you're right. It's soldiers. What is the Fifth Amendment? That's crazy. That's the third thing.
That had to be a major issue. That they were like, guys, you can't keep just staying in people's houses. Like, come on.
Well, it's because the British were doing it to us.
Gotta bring some tents. Gotta hang out outside.
Oh wait, I'm so dumb. The fifth is I plead the fifth. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Look, I'm very sleepy. I need to run. I need to use the restroom. You're gonna monologue about the constitutional I don't know, about the Constitution for a few minutes. Bye.
Okay.
So, or we're gonna cut this out. Marker.
We're pulling back and forth between all sorts of different ideology. I have been monologuing the whole time.
My god, you are committed to not having to edit this thing. What were you talking about?
I was just talking about how we are really in the adolescent phase of our country, right? Like, we think of ourselves as being this like really, really old place, but we're 250 years old, right? Like we're still very much in the infancy of what it means to be American. And so, we feel the need not to tamper with the Constitution because we feel like it's a very old document, but we operate on these human lifetime markers of 70 years, when in reality, there are places that have been around for a lot longer.
Even if you're going on human markers, it's like 4 human lifetimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something I don't know why I was Googling this, I think yesterday or maybe earlier today. Joe Biden and Albert Einstein were alive at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. Albert Einstein was old and Joe Biden was young, but they were alive at the same time. And when did Martin Luther King die?
1960. Wait, I'm gonna guess before you say it. Okay. I want to say 1966.
1968. Pretty close. And it was in the 60s.
He was closer to Kennedy. That's interesting.
But he was alive during World War II.
Yeah.
And Hitler was alive during World War I and much earlier than that, I think, because he was 20 when he was fighting in the war, right? History is crazy. It overlaps way more than you think it does.
Right.
And the Constitution is quite young, and we should be able to change it. And also, something that's shocked me is that, right now, in this particular moment in history, we don't seem super willing to change it for whatever reason, but we have a lot of times. We have made many amendments, and people FDR just kind of came in and was like, hey, I'm doing a bunch of stuff now. We're just making a lot of changes all of a sudden. And then they did, and it was good for the country. And I can imagine a situation where you do that and it's bad for the country, but it is, as someone that is like so grounded in systems, it's crazy to see someone come in and just like knock down all the systems and be like, guys, we actually don't have to follow this. We made it all up. And then just execute on the fact that we made it all up. Like, part of me knows that, of course. We can change whatever we want tomorrow as a society.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
People could like, it is a complete social construction that like people have to wear shirts.
That's true. That's true.
Like, we think of these things as like so fundamental that you wouldn't question them, but we could all go to work tomorrow. Everything could be identical to how it is today. We just all not wear shirts.
True. True. We used to think it was scandalous to show one's legs.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was very much not allowed, and now look where we are.
Other thing is like we greet people. Think about
just in general, like we greet people.
We greet people. You could just hop straight into conversation.
That's true. That is technically true.
That's just a like social norm. I'm trying to think about like what is the most fundamental thing that I assume that we have to do that we don't have to do.
Be good.
Ooh. Yeah, true. That's true. I guess yeah. There's nothing stopping you from just murdering.
I love the Louis C.K. joke, which is the number one thing.
That's an edgy thing to say in 2023, by the way.
I know. He's very funny though. The number one thing stopping murder
is murder.
Is the law that says murder is illegal.
Oh.
Otherwise,
I think I've seen this.
People would just murder all of the time. If it was like a misdemeanor, people would just be murdering. If you got like a little like a little notice in the mail, you're like, they had a camera on that corner when I murdered that guy. Shoot, you had to pay like $110.
Worth it.
People would murder all the time.
Do you think that's true?
A little bit.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know if that's entirely true. It's a really funny joke though.
It is a funny joke. I believe in humans. I wouldn't murder if it was legal. Like Purge, in my mind, the Purge movies are super unrealistic because, first of all, I feel like, hello, can you hear that?
There's something going on. A little commotion.
Yeah, let's wait for it to pass. Marker number 2, edit. What?
The greatest part is that the microphone or the recording cuts out any like high frequencies. And so when you clap your hands, there is no sound.
Oh, that's not going to help at all then.
No, that's okay. I'll leave them in.
Oh, wonderful. What was I just saying a moment ago?
Maybe about murder?
Oh, murder. The Purge. Like I don't not murder because it's illegal. And so it's crazy to me the idea that if you made it legal for one day, everyone would decide the only thing they wanted to do was murder. Like if everything was illegal, I would commit all sorts of financial crimes. I would try and get really rich in one day, but like murder would be at the very bottom of my list of things to do.
That's fair. That's very fair.
If you could commit any crimes for one day, what's at the top of your list? What's the number one crime you want to commit?
The number one crime I want to commit. I don't know. Arson seems very fun.
That's way worse than financial crimes. I'm like trying to evade taxes.
Well, look, it's one day. You get one day, Sam, to go bananas. I feel like if you're the guy who was like, I took the stock market, it's like cool, buddy. I lit a house on fire. There's just like a different caliber.
Maybe my house on fire. Like I have a big old house that I bought with all my stupid money that I made from the Purge last year. And you're like, I've got a bunch of gasoline though, and now you have no more house.
Yeah. Yeah, just like throwing Molotov cocktails through windows. You know,
But
there's something that
at
just seems
people, maybe are you the
no,
murdery type?
no. The house should be empty. They'll get out real quick.
Yeah, but like, would you risk it?
Would I risk it? No, probably not.
Okay.
I would probably request that the people leave. So back to therapy, Sam.
That was really good. Thank you, Meshach, for that smooth transition away from purge murder and terrifying 8-foot spider corpses straight into therapy.
These sound like the kind of things that one might talk about in therapy, you know?
Yeah, that's true. If you need to recover from the trauma induced by an 8-foot spider monster crawling on your wall, try BetterHelp. See how seamlessly I could incorporate sponsors into our videos.
It's true. True. Good. I was gonna say, or they could contact us and we would also offer some therapeutic advice and assistance to them.
That's right. That's right. If you guys want to solve your problems, leave the problems in the comment section. Send us an email.
Yes.
We'll get to solving them.
Yes, we will. Problem solvers number 1 and 2 right here.
Yeah. What's your biggest problem right now?
Oh man.
That's a big question.
I went to the grocery store today and I forgot to buy peanut butter. And I finished almost the last of the peanut butter. There's like a little bit in there in the bottom of the jar, but I forgot today to buy fresh peanut butter.
Oh.
And so I'm almost out of peanut butter completely.
Is that your biggest problem right now?
Right in this moment, having just realized that I made the egregious error of going to the store today and not buying the peanut butter that I should have purchased. Yeah, I mean that's a major issue.
Okay. Well, luckily I think we can solve this.
Okay.
I think step 1 is, pursue your Second Amendment right and buy a gun. You're already exercising your free speech by talking about the issue on this podcast.
Right. Of course.
Issue number 2, buy a gun in case a soldier comes to your door.
That's true.
And wants to live in one of your many empty rooms that you have to schedule time to visit.
And not pay rent.
And not pay rent. I'm hitting all of the topics that we've covered so far on this podcast, by the way.
Yes. No, I love it. Yeah.
Then, when no soldier arrives, shoot the 8-foot spider on your wall.
Okay.
Kill it dead.
Knock that thing down.
After that, I think you just buy some peanut butter.
Okay.
Yeah. But steps 1 through kill spider are also going to be really important.
No, of course. And I understand that completely. I mean, I think that, yeah, you're covering all of the things. You're sort of laying the groundwork for the buying of the peanut butter by solving all of the other, sort of potential issues that could arise. No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You're going to want like a really heavy protein meal after that adrenaline pumping experience.
You're right. Peanut butter is a good meal.
Meal? Did I say meal?
You did say meal, and I might agree with you, Sam.
Dude, I've been eating peanut butter for meals lately. Honestly, I've got 2 of the big Jif things.
Wow.
Sometimes I get an apple.
Yep.
And I eat the apple. So I have an apple and peanut butter, but really it's peanut butter now.
It's just a vehicle to enter the peanut butter into your mouth, right?
I just get scoops of peanut butter and slap it on the apple, and it's a good time.
Sometimes you just lick it off. You just lick it off and then take the apple and go again.
I don't do that, but maybe I should.
Try that. Give that one a shot. That's a good move.
I tried Oreos and peanut butter.
Whoa. Explain to me how this works.
Here's how it works. Okay. You take an Oreo.
Yep.
You get a spoon. You get some peanut butter on the spoon. You smack the peanut butter on the Oreo. You eat the Oreo with the peanut butter. You don't put it in the middle.
Okay.
You don't dip the Oreo in the peanut butter.
Right.
You don't mash up the Oreo and put it on. No.
No.
I I don't know why it took me so long to come to this. One of my coworkers recommended this to me. They said they do it all the time.
Nice.
Tried it. Oh my gosh. It's exactly what you expect. It tastes delicious.
I
It's
bet.
just Oreos and peanut butter. What could be
Yeah.
better? It's for sure going to kill you. And it's the reason that I don't buy Oreos anymore, because if Oreos are around me, I'm annihilating those suckers.
Oreos are one of those things that are really tough not to eat all of them.
Dude, they put them in rows. Like rows of crops, and my brain is like, ooh, harvest them.
And you look at the next one, and it's just kind of looking up at you, and it's like,
They tilt, they tilt,
yeah,
they look up
it's
at
like,
you.
hey, you think you have one more? You think you can take me? Come on, just have a little bite. Have a little bite.
And then you look away for 1 second, you look back, they're just one row's gone.
Yeah.
What? I've had like 2 Oreos. I have one more. Then you start on the next row, boom, another row gone. You can't eat them unless you're eating rows of them.
I believe the correct quantity or serving size of Oreo is a row. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's only like what, 160 calories or something? That's what it says per serving. 100
Per
serving.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it must be
like
3
200
servings
something.
a box. Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah. I bet there are only 600 calories per container of Oreos. And then you throw some peanut butter on there, and it's got to be like, what, 700 total?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe like 7, 10.
Yeah, if you throw a tablespoon of peanut butter on 40 Oreos, you've only consumed around 800 calories. That's me getting home from the gym justifying things. Like, usually I'm pretty disciplined,
right?
But sometimes I get home from the gym, I'm just starving for whatever reason. I'm like, oh, I have a sandwich. This sandwich like 40 calories after you factor in that workout, it's nothing. And then
40 net calories.
Yeah, right. And then I say net calories, and I'll eat something else. I'm like, oh, but you factor in the workout. It's only like, 200 calories is no big deal. Meanwhile, I just had like 1,000-calorie workout, so I just had like a full day's worth of calories in a sitting. I'm just like justifying it. It's terrible, but don't do that. Don't do that, because then you feel bad afterwards. I just wasted my entire evening just working out, only to end up 4 scoops of peanut butter deep on like half an apple. And then you run out of peanut butter and you need to buy a gun.
You need to buy a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
That's the only solution. I mean, that's how Americans solve problems.
I believe that's true. Yeah.
First, speech. Second, guns, to make sure that, we're enforcing the right type of speech.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't want anybody speaking.
We don't want people saying things like, we should have socialized healthcare.
Bang. See? That's where the guns come in.
We don't want people saying things like, unions are okay sometimes.
Bang.
Racism is bad.
Sam, I was thinking...
You didn't say bang on that one.
Bang. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I was caught onto the next topic. I was thinking that on this show, we could say things that were really edgy a while ago.
Do they have to not be edgy anymore? Because I just thought of a lot of things that I could say right now that would be quite edgy.
No, go ahead. I mean,
do you not like me? Is there some reason you're trying to torch my political career before it's even started?
I'm not trying to torch your political career. I was just suggesting that we say really edgy things from a long time ago. That was my only suggestion.
Okay, like what? Like, did you have something in mind?
Well, the Iraq War is bad.
That came out of left field. I was not expecting that. Was that edgy? I feel like no one
at a time it was edgy,
I guess so.
I don't think we should have slaves. You know, like these things
that
were
was also
edgy at
edgy.
times,
Dude,
right?
some people still think that's edgy. Dude, oh my God. I was watching the Trump indictment. First of all, that shit is so funny. Oh my gosh. He admitted to have you read the indictment?
No, I
Oh
know
my God,
nothing
you
about this.
need to read it at some point. I want to go on stream and read it with people at some point. It's so funny. If it's true, like guilty until proven innocent. Innocent until proven guilty. Like they still have to prove it all. But according to them, they have just like records of him just admitting like outright crimes on like
Wow.
audio recording, like very explicitly admitting to doing things intentionally that were criminal. So first of all, that's funny. But then at this indictment, there were some people with a lot of Confederate flags. And I look at that, I'm like, you spent a lot of your money acquiring those flags and a lot of your time putting them up and waiting for
Right.
them to arrive. Like,
You like went online and you search Confederate flag with 2 fingers,
yeah,
and then you clicked buy,
2 fingers.
and then it arrived at your house, and you unwrapped it, and you called your wife, and you were like, Mary Sue, come in here. It arrived. It got
Yeah.
here. I got the flag.
And then the crazy part is you did it again and again
Yeah.
and again, like 50 times.
And Mary Sue was upset not because it was a Confederate flag, but because you spent so much money. You know, she
Yeah.
wasn't mad about the Confederate flag, but she was like,
She was like,
you know,
racism, whatever, but honey, we can't keep buying Confederate flags.
they have a sale at the Walmarts on hot dogs, and I wanted to buy more hot dogs, and you spent all of our money on Confederate flags.
But no longer buying Bud Light because it will turn you trans.
That hasn't been proven not true, Sam. You know, we maybe should examine this more deeply.
It's true. And what? Are we going to trust if the CDC comes out with a study saying Bud Light won't turn you trans? No.
Have you been
Absolutely not.
buying Bud Light in protest?
I have not.
I've been explicitly, you know, if I'm at a restaurant and I know they're gonna bring it to me in a bottle, I ask for a Bud Light. Just to like sit there.
Just to trigger the libs, but not the libs.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to let, you know, people can walk past and they can be like, okay, all right, he's making a stand.
Yeah.
You know, I
It's
never
Pride
thought
Month, baby.
that beer would make a stand. You know,
it's
all
Bud Light.
Yeah. Right? It's Bud Light. Did
It's
you
just a
see
beer.
the ad that Budweiser released after the Dylan Mulvaney video came out?
No, what was it?
The entire ad. I kid you, this is real.
Oh,
This
wait. Was it like the most American man?
The most American.
Oh, yeah.
Where the land where a handshake is a sure thing. And it's just a Clydesdale running past monuments for a whole minute. And then like guys with trucks just like, you know, looking at each other.
That is some manly shit.
That is some manly shit.
Hey, Meshach, do you want to go grab some beers after this and talk about our cars?
Absolutely. So why were there so many Confederate flags at the Trump indictment? Like, explain to me how this worked. Like, were they just like standing outside?
They were waving American and Confederate flags outside of the like court that Donald Trump was making his plea.
Do the people, were they waving both of them? Like the same groups of people?
Not only were some people waving both of them, some people were waving like American flags mixed with Confederate flags, like sewn together.
They do realize that the Confederates lost the war to the Americans, right?
Here's the thing. I'm not sure they do.
Interesting.
I don't know if they know what the Confederate flag was. Or what it stood for.
Right.
They wanted to be like completely separate. They want to be a different country so that they
Right.
could keep their slaves.
Right.
But it's about Southern culture.
That part's a little confusing. It's a
Yeah.
little confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always interesting. It's like it's about states' rights. Okay, states' rights to what?
Mm,
You know, what do we
right.
want those states to be able to do? Own slaves is they
Mm.
wanted to legalize that.
They really
Yeah,
did, or they wanted just to not illegalize it.
you're right. Yeah. They wanted to keep it legal.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is like it's about like Southern culture. Okay, what's like I'm fine with like delicious fried chicken and barbecue. I'm fine with like Southern hospitality,
Yeah.
but like, do we have to stick our boots in the sand for Robert E. Lee? Is that really what you're going to cling to? I feel like the South has got better stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The South is great. It's a lot of fun to be in the South sometimes. Unfortunately, it has a lot of racism and a lot of people being mean and waving Confederate flags.
Not good. Not
Yeah,
good.
it's okay. Just look, if you wave a Confederate flag, just ask yourself, why? That's all. If you're going to the Trump indictment and you're like, I'm a patriot, I don't want the system to be corrupted, and then you're waving a Confederate flag,
Right.
that seems weird.
That does seem odd. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey,
Yeah.
hey, number one thing, freedom of speech.
Freedom
Let
of
them go
speech.
crazy. Let them go crazy. I'm a big fan of freedom of speech.
Oh, I'm all for freedom of speech.
Yeah. I think the only thing about freedom of speech, we've forgotten that freedom of speech is a legal thing and not a social thing.
That's true. And built into freedom of speech is the social pressure to not say certain things.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. That's rule number 2. We joke about like shooting, like you should not shoot people if they say something that you don't like, obviously. But you were joking around that like we have to keep certain people in check. It's like when people are saying Nazi shit, like
Yeah.
there should be social pressures away from that. And
No, I in agreement. Yeah.
yeah, oh, good. I'm glad we're in
Yeah.
agreement that
Yeah.
Nazis bad.
The
You can
Nazis are
quote me on
bad.
that too. Not a fan of Nazis. Um and some people will be like, oh, we've triggered them now. Like, yeah, you have. We're upset because you're saying not good things. Stop saying mean things. Please. Everyone stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is a legal thing and not a social thing. Right. People will come after you for the things that you say.
Yeah, in your social circle, it's like not nice to say if someone looks slightly chubby.
Right. That's
the
true.
the Constitution does not extend into your social group.
It really doesn't.
It,
Yeah.
it's fine. Oh, my thing froze again. Oh, it's fine to bring a gun in places where it's legal. It is not cool to bring a gun to dinner with your friends. Just like lay it on the table.
It does make the speech a little less free. I would have to say.
Yeah, at the dinner table.
At the dinner table. Yeah.
Yeah.
When one person sits with a gun, yeah, it is a little bit, one-sided would the conversation be.
I like that you have a lazy Susan. Everyone could lay their guns on there and then you'd spin it.
Oh, yeah. Little Russian roulette going on.
Oh God. That's a very funny image in my head, but also a dark image.
I have a lazy Susan in the middle of my dining room table that
Yeah.
we have used on many occasions when Sam has stayed here. It's fantastic.
My favorite part, staying at his place. I don't know why I'm obsessed with lazy Susans. My house will definitely have one day.
It should. It should. The lazy Susan has gone out of style, and that's a sad, tragic thing.
To be honest, it is like 90% useless to do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
But it's just this like giant spinny toy in the middle of a dinner table.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, when you want the mashed potatoes, you don't have to ask someone to pass them. You just turn an enormous thing that has a bunch of other food precariously placed on it
Yeah.
toward you and
Yeah, and it
hope
like
that
knocks
other
stuff
things don't
over
fall. Yeah.
on the way.
Oh,
Ding!
exactly.
It's like, causing all sorts of problems. And then
Right.
someone else needs something else. They're trying to spin it in the
Yeah.
other way. And it just like, it's not functional, really.
Right.
But it's a
But
lot of fun.
it does lead to fun, which I think is more important than function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Function.
Right. You can't have function without fun.
You heard it here first. You can't have function without fun.
No.
Or chun.
Wow. Wow.
Anyways. Anyways. Crazy weather out, huh? Hey.
Go ahead.
No, let you first, please.
No, I was just saying, do we have some parameters for this podcast? Do we have a sense of where this is headed?
I think less discussion of crime that I might or might not commit would be great. It's going to be a huge political scandal when everyone is like, Sam Rodriguez wants to commit financial crimes. Sam Rodriguez, 17% murderer. What? Sam Rodriguez, animal killer. That was the spider murder one. Sam Rodriguez hates free speech and guns. Doesn't know the Fifth Amendment. Dude, it's a joke. So that's one direction.
Right.
The other direction is giving people advice, solving their problems.
I agree.
I have desperately wanted to collaborate with small YouTubers for the entire time that we've been doing this channel. So I want to find someone that wants to like come on and shoot the shit with us and talk about something random and fun and maybe give their channel a little bit of a boost and maybe discuss something that's like their specialty. If we can find someone that is an expert in XYZ, it'd be cool to like talk with them about XYZ.
That would be very cool.
So those are my ideas. Do you have ideas?
I dig it. I am open to whatever. I like the idea of having other guests on to interview. And I like the idea of having things for us to explore, with each other, whether that's going deep or whether that's going wide. In terms
I would love to go deep on something.
I would love to go deep on something. Yeah, for sure.
At some point we had the idea of I love how we're like figuring this out in front of everyone. I mean that genuinely. I'm not just saying that. We had the idea of like having a question to answer.
Ooh.
But like a vague question. I don't know if you remember talking about this. Like a vague question to answer, both coming up with our conclusions and then trying to like reconcile the answers, which I think could be a fun prompt for every week.
So is this a question we answer at the beginning or at the end of the show?
I don't know. I mean, hope so. Like, no. So you and I would like pose the question to each other at the end of an episode.
Okay.
And then starting on the next one, we would like try and reconcile our different answers to that question. Like, I'm trying to think of a good question. Like, are we Gen Z or something like that?
Okay.
Like,
sure.
do we count? Or something to that effect. Something that's like probably difficult-ish to answer. I guess we are Gen Z officially. But something in that vein where it's like, oh, we might have to think about this a little bit, and we will probably come to slightly different answers about this.
And maybe there isn't like a single correct answer that we could arrive at.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Ooh,
Mostly because
okay.
I want to get sick dunks on you.
Absolutely.
It's a joke.
Do you have a good question for us to we could end today's show with a question and then have it on next week's episode?
I feel like I'm very much on the spot right now.
Okay.
Can I think of one? Can you think of one? How about, this is a fun one. I would love to discuss this for a long time. This is like a nerdy one too. What is the best superpower?
Oh, gotcha.
One of my favorite discussions that I ever had was, what would society look like if Pokemon became real?
Whoa.
I had like a 4-hour discussion with someone on a road trip about that, and they knew a lot more about Pokemon than I do. And I feel like this is in the similar vein where like people are very quick to be like, oh, I want to be able to fly. I'm like, first of all, that's stupid. Why would you fly when you could make anything fly? That could be your superpower, or teleportation. You just teleport up into the air and then a millimeter forward every, picosecond or whatever, and then you're flying.
Yeah. I'm with you, Sam.
Well, you're gonna have to find some areas to disagree with me on next time.
I will have to find some areas to disagree with you on next time. I was thinking in a different vein.
Okay.
In regards to the question,
I feel like it's gonna be very different.
The thought that I had is, what is the biggest thing that you've learned, or perhaps the most monumental change from the time that we started Sam and Meshach to now? And what did you learn through the process of making videos over the last 2.5 years?
I like that one too. That's one I've thought about a lot. Also, very different directions here. How about this? In the next episode, we'll tackle both of those questions.
I like it. Why not? That feels very Sam and Meshach.
And it will range from serious conversations about how our lives have changed to weird discussions about teleporting being objectively superior to flying. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, well, great. Disclaimer as always, I was drunk during this episode. You can't take anything I said seriously. But I don't get drunk often. That's another disclaimer. I wasn't actually. I want to like legal disclaimer for all the episodes that we release. There will be another reason why what I said can't be taken seriously in a court of law.
Just covering all of your bases, Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
As you should be.
Exactly. All right, but with that,
Rodriguez, future president of the United States.
At this rate, we can only hope. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Meshach, it's been a pleasure potting with you. And we'll see you guys all next week. Peace out.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you then.